Franklin's music.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam, Ibu Bapak semua. Mohon izin kita akan tes mic terlebih dahulu. Ya, selamat malam Miss Amel. Boleh tes mic?
Ya, selamat malam. Gimana? Kedengeran nggak?
Oke, Miss. Sudah aman. Terima kasih. Selamat malam, Miss Via.
Selamat malam Pak Fakih, suara saya jelas?
Oke, sudah jelas, Miss. Terima kasih.
Oke.
Selamat malam, Mr. Yusuf. Halo.
Hai, selamat malam semuanya. Kedengaran di
Selamat
sini?
malam. Oke, sudah aman, Pak.
Oke.
Terima kasih. MC malam ini dibawakan oleh Miss Amel. Saya persilakan.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good evening to our distinguished speaker, respected moderator, and our guests and educator, teachers, students, and participants joining us from Indonesia and other countries. Welcome to Trainova Global Webinar Series. Trainova Webinar Series is a weekly professional learning program held every Wednesday from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Western Indonesia time. Our mission is to connect educator with inspiring speaker, innovative idea, and global educational practice. Please introduce myself. My name is Siti Amalia, and I am chairperson of IBI Kota Bogor. First of all, we will pray to God. Prayer begins. Next, we will hear about Indonesia National Anthem, Indonesia Raya, and after that, we will continue to Pekom University profile.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer Stekom punya modal besar berupa ide-ide baru yang dapat direalisasikan dalam menjalankan industri kreatif.
Bagi semua mahasiswa Universitas Stekom harus memiliki skill dan kompetensi untuk bisa produktif dan bersaing di tingkat global.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer dapat dimanfaatkan sebesar-besarnya bagi generasi muda untuk memperoleh kesempatan memasuki dunia kerja, berkarya, dan berinovasi untuk pembangunan, terutama di sektor ekonomi.
Universitas Stekom memegang peranan yang sangat penting dalam pengembangan aspek kewirausahaan, khususnya untuk UMKM masa depan yang berbasis pada kreativitas dan inovasi teknologi.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer Semarang berani mengambil peluang dan berinovasi dalam mengembangkan kewirausahaan dan perdagangan digital di tanah air.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer mampu melahirkan lulusan yang memiliki kompetensi yang dibutuhkan dunia kerja hari ini, sehingga lulusan kampus dapat langsung diserap dunia kerja.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer atau Universitas Stekom merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi terkemuka di Jawa Tengah yang berpusat di Semarang. Berdiri lebih dari 37 tahun dan memiliki 8 kampus cabang dan 1 gedung pusat karir yang tersebar di berbagai kota di Jawa Tengah.
Tunggu. Kayaknya kita langsung aja deh ngeliatin fasilitas yang ada di Universitas Stekom ini.
Yuk ikutin kita.
Ayo!
Kuliah sambil bekerja atau bekerja sambil kuliah merupakan kebanggaan bagi 6.000 lebih mahasiswa aktif Universitas Stekom. Sebuah prestasi yang selalu meningkat dan terbukti. 90% mahasiswa Universitas Stekom sudah memperoleh pekerjaan dan sukses di dunia kerja dan wirausaha sebelum diwisuda. Universitas Stekom juga memiliki kerjasama eksklusif dengan Toplocker.com, platform pencari kerja yang mendapat penghargaan juara 1 Startup for Industry 2022 dari Kementerian Perindustrian. Universitas Stekom juga aktif bekerja sama secara internasional dan berteman baik dengan berbagai universitas terkenal mancanegara. Berikut adalah lokasi kampus Universitas Stekom yang tersebar di Jawa Tengah.
Ojo mek kerja, ojo mek kuliah digabung nek. Kerja sambil kuliah sambil kerja. Ngono iki.
Universitas Stekom, Universitas Stekom, Universitas Stekom, Universitas Stekom.
Universitas Stekom kuliahnya menyenangkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share a brief story about how tonight webinar came to this. First, I met our distinguished speaker, Mr. Yusuf Anudin in Jakarta. during the Edispace Singapore event. During his presentation, I was truly amazed by an AI-powered application he developed to help students identify university majors that best match their interests, talent, and potential, helping them make more informed educational decisions. I immediately took that his innovation should be shared with more educator, student, and parents. So I invite Mr. Ngadimin to be one of our speakers at Trinova Global. Tonight, we are truly honored that he accepts our expectation and we have the valuable opportunity to learn directly from him. Before we continue, I would like inform that all participant the attendance form will be shared at the end of the webinar. Please stay with us until the closing session and to receive attendance link. During the discussion session, you are welcome to ask questions in Bahasa or English. We encourage everyone to participate actively and make this session interactive. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to hand over today's program to our moderator, Ms. Fia from IGI Kota Bogor, who will guide us through the rest of the webinar. Thank you and enjoy the session. Ms. Fia, time is yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Amel. Assalamualaikum. Yeah, good evening, Bapak and Ibu, my fellow educators from all around Bogor, West Java, or maybe from all around Indonesia. Yeah, I would like to warmly welcome you today to our webinar, and it's such a pleasure for me to be the moderator today. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Fia, and I am a part of IGI Kota Bogor. And for your information, everyone, as what Ms. Amel informed before, this webinar is organized with the collaborations of the International Affairs Divisions of IGI Kota Bogor and also Trinova Global. And it is also supported by PTIC and STECOM University. Yeah, we want to say thank you to you all, Bapak and Ibu, and it's great to have you all with us this evening to discuss something really insightful, I think, yeah. So we are going to have a webinar entitled Understanding How Learners Today May Thrive in an AI Era Tomorrow. Yeah, before we begin, let us take a moment to reflect on what educators are experiencing today. Bapak and Ibu, have you ever had students who maybe seem difficult to motivate, or maybe students who ask a lot of questions, or students who learn differently from others? Yeah, maybe we are going to find a lot. And in today's AI-driven world, the students actually may not lack potential. Yeah, and they may simply think and learn differently. And this webinar, of course, will help us better to understand today's learners and explores how we, as educators, can support them in preparing their future, of course. And we are very fortunate to have with us today as the speaker of our webinar, Mr. Yusuf Ngadimin, Bapak Yusuf Ngadimin. Hello, Bapak Yusuf. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Bapak Yusuf Ngadimin as the founder and also CEO of Utopia House, a Singapore-based AI-driven company behind Career Mimicry AI. Okay, and maybe all of you are curious about what Utopia House is. Maybe a little, Mr. Yusuf, may I try to introduce what Utopia House to the participants today? Utopia House is a Singapore-based AI company that helps students and professionals explore educations and career pathways through personal insights and real-world career experiences. And our speaker today, Mr. Yusuf Ngadimin, is the founder and also the CEO of Utopia House. He has more than 20 years of experience in software development, including AI, cloud technologies, web and mobile applications, And of course, a lot of experience. And this afternoon, I got your CV, Mr. Yusuf, and I read a lot. Yeah, if if I should, inform it to the participants today, I think I'm going to take all the time that we have in our webinar. So yeah, everyone, we are very fortunate that we have Mr. Yusuf because he has a lot of experience, yeah, especially in IT, entrepreneurship, and also the ones that I mentioned before. Okay, and beyond technology, everyone, Mr. Yusuf is also passionate about human behavior, career development, and personal growth. And as a former CTO, career coach, and youth mentor, he brings a unique perspective that combines technology with a deep understanding of people. And yeah, I think this is what we really need because technology develop rapidly, right? And as humans, of course, we have to adapt with the development of it. Okay, so today he will share valuable insights and on how educators can better understand learners and help them thrive in the AI era. And before we give the time to Mr. Yusuf, there are a few points that you need to know, everyone, that this webinar is being recorded and there is also a live stream of YouTube. Of it on YouTube, I'm sorry. So you can watch it, rewatch it again if you want, if you missed some points that Mr. Yusuf explained today. And the second is, please feel free to use the chat box to say hi, of course, and tell us where you're joining from. And if you have questions, please be patient, okay? You can drop your questions in the chat box. And after Mr. Yusuf present the material today, we'll have a Q&A session and also discussion session after the presentation. So, and you can also throw your questions directly to the speaker, okay, during the Q&A sessions. Yeah, okay, Bapak and Ibu, yeah, please join me in welcoming our speaker, Mr. Yusuf Ngadimin. So, Mr. Yusuf, the room is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Bu Pia, and also Bu Siti. Yeah, it's a very great opportunity to be here to share what we are doing. And it's not just about the company, but we also want to advocate the learning that we have seen about the education, the learning, or even like generally mentoring youths. And we hope that today's sharing will be insightful to everyone. Especially, I believe all of you are educators. And I think there is a lot of like question or specific from students like how is the new AI world is going to impact them in the future. And we are not, I wouldn't say we are the expert in the industry. Today we are just sharing what we have learned along the way, and hopefully this will be insightful. Right, so quick brief about our company and the product that we are building over here. So one of the pain point as previously at the corporate where we try to hire people, we see that a lot of people are always confused about their career, about what they should be learning, about what they should be doing. And during the corporate life, I've been guiding a lot of employees, my staff, to look at what are the learning that they should be doing in the corporate. And I feel that a lot of this concept or the methodologies that we are using at the corporate can actually be applied to education as well. Why don't we apply it to the earlier stage before the students go into the work industry? And that's why that is how our startup was born, where we are looking at a lot of these personality assessment technique, people development, talent management, combining with the technology built into the AI. And hopefully the AI can become the career coach to help people. Okay. And to be honest, I don't think AI is ready to replace human. Even our role as educator or coaches, I don't think can be replaced totally by AI. I will explain later why. But AI will help our job to become easier. Right. So I'll start today's session, and the topic is really about let's address this fear about the AI. Is it going to replace our job? My point of view is that yes, there'll be some job that'll be replaced, but also there'll be some job created. We just need to know which one that we can do, right? So let me start on let me share my screen. Hang on. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. All right. Okay, let me start with this. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So, recently there are a lot of people in my network start to ask me, like, for example, because we are in the technology, they're asking me, for example, like educator asking me, how do we detect if students use AI in their homework? Or even recruiter ask me, how do we detect that a candidate use AI in writing their CV or do assessment? In fact, what I would like to challenge back to people is that for me, I would like to hire them. Why? If they know how to use AI, I suppose the AI will help their work to be more effective or more efficient. And as a boss, I would like to hire this staff in my company because they will do work faster. They will do work better, probably, right? So why should we stop them from using AI when it will improve their performance, right? But I think it goes back to a lot of fear that is it considered as cheating, right? Because we use AI to do something that we are supposed to do, okay? But if we look at the history, I think this fear is something that always repeated when there's a new technology. Even when we look about the calculator, scientific calculator, right? When it was first created, that was during my time when I went to school. Back then, like 30 years ago, the scientific calculator or even the normal calculator was banned at school because it can help students cheat in calculation for the maths question, right? But today, if we fast forward, I'm not sure in Indonesia, but in Singapore. Oh, by the way, I was born in Indonesia, but I'm based in Singapore now. So in Singapore school today, in fact, starting primary onwards, they are allowed to use scientific calculator already during learning and also for their exam. So people see progress using technology actually help us to become better. It is not making us lazy or making us like to cheat more, right? If we are taught how to use the calculator properly, know where is the use case, when to use it, why we are using it, I think the next generation will become smarter. Right? So I want to people to have the same mindset. Like when we see all this technology, when they start appearing, right? Calculator, TV, radio, internet, all this actually helps our life to become better. Now we are talking about AI, right? AI is also helping our life to become better because it makes a lot of our work, we can do a lot of our work faster. But of course, then what else can we do when AI is already doing some of our work? So I think we should be changing our question. Like instead of treating AI as cheating, like candidate who is using AI to create their CV as cheating, we should look at what is the new behavior of people, right? Using AI, how can we create more value? I think that is the new question that we should be asking ourselves and also the people around us, especially the younger generation. But unfortunately today, when people are using AI, and also it's because it is still a very new tool out there, people are just using it as a tool to replace a certain task. For example, people use it to look for answers or do research, look for information, do some translation, summary, and so on. Usually it's just a replacement tool, right? Because we want to do something, writing, for example, and AI just help us write faster. Okay. But I think there are a lot of these aspects that people miss out. How do we create more value from using this tool? So this tool is not just replacing what we are doing, but this tool should help us create value, right? And a lot of time people are missing that part because people are too focused on the fear. Instead of looking at the progress, people are too focused on the fear because we fear AI will replace us. And it's normal to feel the fear, right? Because we are just human, right? And why we fear this? Because if we compare AI with a lot of other technology before us, AI is the kind of like the very first technology that actually replace the way we make decision. It can replace the way we analyze information. So it kind of like replacing our cognitive function. The previous technology, when we look at like the mobile phone, internet, computer, for example, that is usually to replace action that we want to do, right? So while technology do the action, usually we still have control on the decision. What do we want to do? Why are we doing it? Creating the plan and so on. Usually we are still in control. But today with the AI starting taking over the control of making decision. And that's why a lot of people fear this, because if AI can make decision instead of me, then maybe one day AI can replace me, right? And this is where people start to feel fear, because they look at AI is not just challenging or replacing their job, but it is also challenging their self-worth. Am I still a valuable human compared to AI that now companies are just like paying $20 to get access to all this knowledge versus having a human to do the work, right? So people start to have that fear, and this fear is understandable because today we put a lot of emphasis on intelligence. We measure people's value using intelligence, and this is how our education works, right? So we go through all the 12 years of study, then we go to university. What do we do over there? We memorize things. We read books, we memorize it, we go through exam, we try to answer the exam questions, right? So that learning journey took us about 12 to 16 years. AI can do it now in just months. Or even you throw a book, you upload a book to any, let's say, ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on, it can probably digest the book in like minutes. If I need to read the book, I will probably take a month. So our speed are very, very different, right? If human do it, if I need to learn it, it is very slow. But if AI is going to learn it, they are doing it very fast. Right? So now that's why people are very threatened, because our intelligence is actually very threatened. But I think that is where a lot of people are missing, because actually there are a lot more things that we can do outside of just rewarding the intelligence, right? So AI help us replacing a lot of activity that we can do, right? Like finding information, summarizing, writing essay, or even nowadays writing codes, right? So AI can do a lot of things, but AI still cannot do a lot of things as well, like all this empathy, courage, leadership, responsibility, right? A lot of these are still what we have as a human, right? The value that AI cannot replace today. AI can maybe help us think, and probably we need to reframe a little bit, right? If AI can help us think, what else can I do? And personally, I believe that then we should have more time, we should have more bandwidth to become more human. To become more human by looking or sharpening or developing the way our judgment, how we judge certain things, right? Not judging in the negative sense, but when we have a data, how do we judge the value, the worthiness of the data, right? The direction, how do we look at the ethics, how we look at the empathy, courage, and so on. And I think a lot of these are what AI still cannot do. AI is a very academic tool, right? It can read a book, it can summarize a book, but it cannot give you like a judgment whether, for example, is this story, what was the behind of the story, like probably English literature. When we read the story, we try to interpret right? What's the history? Why the author put it this way? AI can do it factually, but human can put a lot more value, emotion, connection behind the story. And I feel this is where we, as a not just educator, but also we need to teach the younger generation to also started shifting the focus over there, right? Don't put too much. I mean, we still need to do all the learning and everything, but don't put too much effort or emphasis on that. AI can help us on that. Okay. And when AI can help us think faster, what personally I believe is that human need to become better in decision making, right? AI probably can help us make some decision, but I think sometimes the decision may require a bit of intuition, right? Sometimes we have a gut feel whether this decision is the right thing or the wrong thing, and AI basically doesn't have gut feel. And I think this is something that human is still different from AI. And then we should look at the next level question. It is not just having data. What is the wisdom that we can get out of this, right? What is the story behind it? What is the word? And I think in the world today, there are still a lot of things that need to be solved, right? The problem in the world about sustainability, about plastic, about the environment, and so on, right? And I think with the AI, while AI helping us to take care of all this data, knowledge, analysis, I think then we can put a lot more time in higher value things, higher value activities, right? And while we are looking at all these hypotheses in the company, in Utopia, as an AI company, we actually try to analyze a lot of successful people profile. We try to see how they become successful, right? And a lot of time we see a lot of correlation in the sense that maybe I just put some statistics first, just to set the context over here. By the way, disclaimer, right? I still believe in the importance of education, but if we look at a lot of successful people today, if we just, okay, I may be a bit materialistic. If we look at money as a measure of success, right? All these successful people mostly are not education people. Right? I mean, they study, but they are not in the education industry. They are not the thinker profile, right? They are entrepreneur, for example. In fact, out of, let's say, the top 10 billionaire, right? I would say nobody is in the education industry. Okay, no one is in the academic. Okay, but I'm not saying academic is not important. I'm just highlighting there are different ways to become successful that people are not aware usually, right? Because we are all trained to go through the education route, right? We know that, okay, I need to finish my high school, I need to go to university, I need to get a degree, I need to get a job, and that's it, right? So in Utopia over here, we try to see, we try to learn from all these successful people, look at their blueprint, what they have done, or even like look at how they are different from typical people, right? From average people. And that is what we want to teach people, okay? And what we found out over here is that, and I think also to resonate what Bu Pia mentioned earlier about some students are just behaving differently. And actually in Utopia, we identified generally there are these like 5 houses or 5 types of people. And we take this by looking at a lot of these, like, for example, personality assessment tool, like MBTI, BIP5, for example, this Clifton Strength Finder, Enneagram, and so on. Most of these personality assessment, if we analyze to look at the similarity, most of them actually covers around these 5 houses or 5 different type of people in general, right? But of course, some of the tool may go into deeper, like Strength Finder, they go into like about 34 different type. MBTI, they go down into the 16 type. But in general, we can look at these 5 houses, right? And I think before I explain about the 5 houses, I just want to make this easier to understand. And I hope maybe all of you, okay, I believe all of you have heard about Harry Potter, right? It's very famous, okay? And I'm also, how many of you, or you can put in the chat, how many of you remember the scene where Harry Potter go to the Hogwarts Wizarding School, and then they are placed with the hat, and then the hat will sort them to a different houses, whether they go to the Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and so on, right? How many are you familiar with that scene or familiar with that story? Maybe you guys can type in the chat. If you are familiar, just type yes. If not, then I'll probably explain a little bit just for everyone context. Okay, so in the nutshell, so in the Harry Potter story, there are 4 different types of students. The Gryffindor, where Harry Potter is, the Gryffindor is the brave people. So they are the one who do the right things, basically. Right? So they are the brave people, and they dare to challenge. If they see something that is not right, they'll challenge it. So that is the brave people. And if we look at like what Bu Fia mentioned, so at school, what do we brand these students who are brave and probably always challenge the teacher in the class? Right, so a lot of time we brand them as like the rascal or the berandalan. Right, never listen to the teacher. Okay, but they're just brave. They like to speak up their mind. Okay, the Hufflepuff. Yeah, somebody typed that the head become tools like AI. In fact, the way our AI is designed is to become like that head. We can help you identify where is your strength, where is your house in a way, and I'll show you that later. So the second type is Hufflepuff. They are the kind people. They are the one that can connect very well with other people. They'll make sure that everyone is included. No one is left behind. They'll help each other. They're hard worker. That's a Hufflepuff, right? And I think at school also, these are usually the students who are very good in, maybe not just students, in fact, everyone. People who are good in social connector, right? I believe you would have friend or someone that, okay, if you need help, you go to this person. This person may not have the answer, but he or she can help to connect you with the right person. Right? So they don't have the answer, but they know how to find people who know the answer. So these are the connector people. Okay. And usually at school, they are the one who are a bit talkative, a bit kepo, right? So they talk a lot, but they connect with people a lot, actually, right? The thinker profile is the typical type that I would say they are the type that will thrive the best at school, because they are very academically inclined. They are good in reading books. They are good in analyzing. They like to read and so on. Right? So typically they are the thinker profile. So they will thrive at the school environment. And then we have the manager type, where the manager type is the one who can, like a natural leader, when we have a project. So this person will step up and say that, okay, let me plan, or let me coordinate, let me drive this activity. Let's see how we can achieve the objective together as a team. So there's a manager profile. And okay, in Harry Potter, there are 4 profiles. But if you look at our analysis, we have 5 different profiles. So what is missing over here? The difference is the creator profile. We have one more creator profile. So basically, creator is someone who are more hands-on, like those like to create arts, do music, for example, dancing, performance. So they are more hands-on people, right? And actually, there are these 5 types of people, and it's actually very similar to the Harry Potter But if we look at the 5 types of people today, who will benefit the most from the AI, or who will understand AI the most? Usually it's the thinker profile, because the thinker profile will find the AI, the way AI works is very, very familiar. It's about data collection, it's about research, it's about summarizing, right? And thinker profile usually can adopt AI very fast. They can learn AI very fast because it's something familiar to them. But also, I'll go through each of the type later. But I would say the thinker profile is the type that AI is going to replace first, because AI can do thinking easily today. But AI cannot do the other 4 yet. I think creator somewhat is there. Now AI can start to create video, pictures, music, and so on, but probably not that great yet compared to the writing text, but getting there. Manager, this guardian profile, or the brave profile, and the connector profile, I think AI cannot do that yet, right? So if we go back to the school environment, for example, right? Like just now Fia say, yeah? So in the class, you will have students that are probably too quiet, never ask question, or some students who are very dramatic, right? Any small thing also make it into like a very big event. Some students who are very bossy, some students who are like police, right? Make sure that everything is controlled, remind people things. Some students who are very talkative. But I think what we found out over here is that they are just different personality type. They are just wired differently. They do things differently. And to be fair, everyone, based on the data that we have, everyone has a good chance to be successful in the world, right? The problem is just that people don't understand their strength. They don't understand, like, okay, am I the thinker, right? Because if I'm the thinker, but if I'm doing the creator work, I may not like it. If I'm the manager, but I need to become a guardian, right? Instead of managing something, I'm just taking care, make sure things doesn't break. It is not my preference. So that is where the gap usually happens. And in our company, we try to help people understand themselves, who you are, what you like to do, what is your way of doing things, so people understand their profile better, right? Now, before I go into detail, I want to do a quick test first with all the participants over here. Before I explain in detail what are the 5 types over here, just using your gut feel, right? Where do you think you are? Are you the thinker profile? Are you the creator profile? Are you the manager profile? Are you the guardian profile? Are you the connector profile? Just think, and don't think that like what people expect from you. Think of what you like naturally. Right? Given choices, right? What you want to become. What is your natural way of doing things? Dana said creator, okay. How about the rest? You can type in the chat. Let me see whether you can kind of like guess which house you are. I'll show you later using our AI, and then you can see whether you get the same answer or not. Or you can also validate whether our AI is correct or not. Hidayat connector.
By the way, Mr. Yusuf,
Yes.
I'm curious, can we be in more than one more than one role?
Yes,
For
you can.
example, like connector and creator or something like that.
Yes, you can. In fact, we see data, we see people who can do all 5.
Okay.
It's possible, yes. But usually, given a scenario, usually there will be like one type that is more dominant than the other, that you'll go to that mode first.
Okay, I see.
Anyone want to type in the chat? What do you think who you are? Or anyone not sure, like what are all these 5 types mean? You don't know how to make decision, you can probably type first, so I can have to clarify now before we move on. City thinker. I think based on the data that we see, actually, we see a lot of people in the education, mostly are the thinker profile usually, because they are very good in academic. Usually all these like scientists, professor, typically are the thinker profile. Anton, mix of all 5. Okay, great. Let's see, let's try our AI later to see if you are all these 5. Faki, manager, okay. All right. Alamsia, creator, okay. So I think we get a few mix. Okay, so I'm not sure who is this, but the name shows as Samsung. You have all, okay. Tia, Guardian, okay. So now based on gut feel, you roughly can tell where you are, okay. Now I'll go into detail, and then you can see. Let's try use our AI and see if you guess it correctly, or if you think our AI is correct or wrong. Okay. Let's go to the next one. I will share with you this one. By the way, our AI is free. You can use it, or in fact, in the future, if you find it useful, you can also ask your student to try. You can come here. I will share the link in the chat. Okay, maybe I'll show you how it works first. Then I will give you some time to try it so that you know where to find the information. Okay, because this will require to do a login so that we can keep your profile. So I will, once you go here, I will just show you with some example. This is my profile, for example. Yeah, but please key in your actual email so that we can send you the link so that you can come back to your profile later on. Okay, so one thing that, okay, this one I'm not asking you to believe, but for us to understand people, right? As a leader, I've been using a lot of different tools. I've been using a lot of Western tools. I started with MBTI. I'm MBTI certified, so I can help people. I can consult people on their MBTI type. I'm also certified in the Holland Code or the Strong Inventory or RISEC. I also use a lot of other personality assessment like DSC, B5, Enneagram, and so on. That's how I started to try to understand people. And then I got some curious because all these are very Western type. I also see there are Eastern type of personality assessment, and I think the way Eastern and Western do, Western is very scientific, right? They always do research, do paper, do validation, make sure that the approach is proper and so on. While on the East side, to be honest, we are probably not so scientific compared to the Western. But nowadays we are more, okay? Previously we are not so scientific, so there are a lot of like tools out there on the Eastern who are like people may not believe, okay? And I'm not asking you all to believe because to be honest, that is not science backed, okay? But what I like is that when we use AI to look at the data, whether and ideally when we combine the Western and the Eastern data, that's where we see a good result. We see a good value. But today I'll just show you a demo, just using your date of birth first, just to keep things simple, okay? So let's say you can key in your date of birth. I'll just pick any date of birth. This is not mine, but I'll just pick anyone. Time of birth is optional. If you are twin, you can select whether you are fraternal or identical and whether you are younger or the older, but if you're not twins, you can skip it. Then you can just generate. So at this step, we are actually comparing you, and this is enough to understand a lot about your character. Okay, we are not doing fortune telling. We are not doing like fate reading and all that. There is a technique to read people's personality, and waiting for it to load. So we are over here. Our AI can compare your profile with about 40,000 successful people out there. What we believe over here is that if we are able to find someone similar to you, and this person is successful, I think we can just copy their career path, right? No need to think so far. Okay. For example, whether are we suitable to do IT, or in fact, nowadays with the AI, should we go into AI? Not everyone can do AI actually, or maybe the way we do AI need to be different depending on our personality. So we want to give people inspiration, right? What you can become based on to you. Okay. And this is not my actual profile. This is just any of the date that I picked. But if you do until this step, you will be able to see all these famous people out there who are similar to you, just based on your date of birth first. Okay. There are actually a lot more data that we want from you later, right? But at this step, I just want you to quick look at the name, for example. Who are these people? What do they do? Right. So let's say, for example, like this person, similar to Sharon Osbourne as a music manager, similar to Jennifer Aniston, Robin Williams, and so on. And then you can click on the profile, and you can click, for example, I want to be this person, to look at the detail. How am I similar to this person? And this is where we want to give you inspiration. How you should be working. What is your way of working? Okay. Let it load for a while. Okay. So this is the part where we want you to read. So similarity with this person, sharp wit, inventive debate, unafraid to tackle controversial topics, charisma, strategic thinking, and so on. Right. So if you read a few other profile, you should be able to see a few similarity, or maybe some keywords will keep on appearing. So for example, similarity with David Letterman, inventive mind, wit and vision, quick decision and strategic risk taking, for example, right, and so on. Right. So usually once you read a few profiles, you can understand the similarity, but don't stop over here. What I want you to do next is then you click on the free sign up, and the free sign up is very straightforward. You can just log in using your Google account or your Microsoft account. Right? Very simple step. And once you sign up using your account, okay, hang on, it's a bit slow over here. Okay, but right over here, you will be able to see the sign up page. Just click the Google button or the Microsoft button to sign up. And once you sign up, I'll switch to this one. I'll show you my personal account. Okay, so this the account that we have, and just a sidetrack a little bit. So this Mimikyu AI, or the career mimicry AI, basically we are trying to show people similar to you so that you can copy them. And we actually built in a lot of coaching framework so that the AI can coach people step by step, right? And what we show you earlier is the step 2. It's just a quick preview of like who I can become. So these are like the 10 profile that I can become. I can do a quick read, but today focus is not that. Today focus, I want to introduce the concept of the personality type first to the teachers. Right? So you go to the step 1 later. Step 1 is for you to understand yourself. And earlier, if you have key in using your date of birth, You will be able to see the astrology tab over here, view the result. And this is the part where we will show you what are the 5 houses. And you just need to see like which one is the highest score. Like for me, my highest is the manager. So I'm actually the manager profile. And manager profile, that's why it is suitable for me to go into entrepreneurship, because this is where I can manage a company, manage a business, right? Manage a team. I'm also quite high on the thinker profile. So like just now, Bufia asked, can I be multiple of this house? Yes. So for me, even for me, I'm actually high on the manager, on the connection, and on the thinker. So the way I like to do things, for example, I started my career in the IT industry. I was doing a lot of software development, but somehow the kind of software that I like to do is integration software. How do we make like system A talk to system B? And then I realized that, hey, that is because of the connection over here. And it's not just about people to people connection. It can be system to system. So that's where I realized that, hey, actually I have quite a good interest in building connection. Right? And that's where and the moment I study all this personality assessment, this one become more transparent to me. So I suddenly realized that, oh, this is actually me. Right? And I think this is good to give insight to people that this is your strength and how we like to operate. Okay. But of course, something that common question that I get is that, okay, so for example, let's say for me, my creator and my support or this the governance, right, is very low, right? So does it mean that I cannot do this? Actually can, right? I just need to put more effort, right? It can be a skill that I can acquire, but I may not like to do it. That's why earlier I highlight that what is the thing that you naturally like to do? If you have options, what is that one thing that you choose first? Right? That is your natural preferences. But can I force myself to do it? Can. I can force myself to do it. But maybe I cannot do for a long run. I can do it for 1 week. I can do it for 1 month. But if you ask me to do for 1 year, maybe I will not like it. Or I'll be drained a lot. I'll be exhausted. I will hate the job. Right? So it's very important to understand where is our strength, right? And work toward our strength. Right? And this is something that I like to tell the my student also. When we come to the work industry, we will need to work for the next 30, 40 years. If you do something that you don't like, can you do for 30 years, right? It's better to find something that you like, naturally more aligned to you. Then at least when you do for 40 years, you are at least happier, I hope, right? Yeah, so this is where I want you to see. So maybe I'll pause a bit over here first. I want to do a stock take a little bit. How many of you managed to come here or managed to see your type? Which one you are? Thinker is analyzer. Sorry, it's sorry, we may be using a different terminology over here, but they're actually the same type. Anyone managed to like guess your type correctly? Or you're still testing the system? Or maybe if you need more time, can you just type one on chat so I know that you need more time? Everyone good so far? Shall I continue?
Yeah, I think Bapak Ibu, are you right now trying to open the platform and do what Mr. Yusuf is sharing to you? I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Maybe I'll give you a few more minutes first. All right, Eddie. All right. Okay, yeah. I'll give you guys a few more minutes to try. And in the meantime, if anyone has any question or if you are stuck, just let me know. Oh, Anton, you are in the train. Okay, maybe you can try it later. As a teacher, you're all that. Yes. Okay. So maybe just sharing a bit, Pak Anton. Okay. Usually, if you have all that, then anything that you do should be very easy because naturally there's something that you can do. Okay. But sometimes also it can create confusion because you have so many things that you can do. Which one you want to prioritize first, right? And I think it'll be good to share this experience with your students, right? Because what we found is that for young generation, if they because they are still like finding themselves, trying to see what they can do, especially at their teenager, they're still trying to identify what they can do. And we notice that based on the data that we have, we notice that usually it is the person that can do all these five or four or five of these who are more confused than other people, right? Because if we are very clear that, let's say I'm only a thinker, then my choice is very easy. Whatever I do, I'll be very aligned to the thinker. The rest I probably don't do. But we see that a lot of people who can do more become more confused because they have more options. The availability of the options makes them more confused. And as a mentor, I see this problem with a lot of young generation today as well. Not problem on them, but it's the environment. Because today, for example, when I study IT 30 years ago, when I go to uni, it was very easy to choose because there was only one computer science subject in university. But today, when I look at university in Singapore, if you want to study IT, you go to NUS or NTU, they have 47 IT subjects. 47. Now they break down a lot. They break down into multimedia, networking, fintech, what's that? Medical, robotics, and so on. Then people become very, very confused. I just want to learn IT. Now I have 47 options to choose. Right. Yeah, Panton, teacher's job not easy. You need to cover everything. Yes, that's why salute to your teacher job not easy because okay, teacher job okay. So we actually study all this profile and we actually created a database of what is the skill or the strength required by every job role, right? And that's why we see that, for example, like I think generally we understand this also because, for example, if let's say you want to hire a marketing person, what do you look in the marketing person, right? We want people who are creative, right? That's given, okay? But what if this person, this marketing person is a thinker profile, not creative profile? Can they still do work? Actually, yes. Then maybe they'll be good in the data-driven or research kind of marketing. Look at the performance marketing, like ads performance. How do you optimize the ads, the traffic, the monetization, and so on? That require a thinker profile in marketing. So that is what we want to show to people. Right? No matter what's your type, you can actually thrive in all career or all environment. Just that your SOP, your way of working will be different. Just need to understand that. Like even for my own profile, because of the manager, entrepreneur, right? So I only like to do innovation project. And in fact, I'm like super curious about new technology. So when, let's say, the new technology come out, the cloud computing, the Internet of Things, the blockchain, I'll go out and learn usually. Right? So because I'm very curious about the new technology, but not everyone is like that. It's just that my style is more innovative IT. HRD job, yes. Yeah, actually, that is the one of the messages that I want to show today. AI help us to do a lot of things already. We need to elevate our role, right? It's no longer just teaching, like teaching a book, right, to a student, right? Not just memorizing a book, but look at value of the person, and that's really human resource. All right. How about the rest? Are you all able to go to the screen, or do you see any problem? Or do you have any new insight after you see the data? No question. If no question, then maybe I'll continue. We can still take questions later on. Okay. There are still a few more slides that I want to finish. I just want to give a bit more description so that maybe, let's say you don't have to believe our tool, but I want to show you the 5 types so that you can try to spot it in your student, right? Even without our AI, just like remember the 5 types and probably you can spot it in your student. Okay. So I will go through the 5 types and just focus on the one in the middle. So let's say you see the clue, and you try to verify, is this you? Okay, Eddie, I'll come to your question later. Let me finish the 5 houses first. Okay. Yes, but basically it is possible to be different, but I'll answer that why. So I'll cover the 5 houses first. Okay, so just take a look at the clue over here and see if this is typically you. Okay, so thinker profile. Thinker profile are usually very, very comfortable with reading text. And this profile usually, you know, like when you sign up to a website, right, there is a long T&C. Do you actually read that, for example, the terms and condition? Or you buy hardware, right? You buy a TV, a fridge, a washing machine. Do you read the instruction or not? Thinker profile are very, very comfortable with reading. Right? They like to read a lot. And they like to read all these like things that people don't read usually. Right? So that is the some of the sign of a thinker profile. Right? They really need to know how things work. Right? They will go into the detail, right? Try to understand step by step how the thing works. They want to be able to look at option. Right? They don't want to look at just one thing. but look at, okay, what are the 2, 3, 4, 5 different things or the options that they can have? What's the logic? And they like to solve puzzle. If you like to do this thing, probably you are the thinker profile. And as the thinker profile, on the right hand side, I'll share the slide later, but on the right hand side, you can see what is the risk of using AI and how you can actually leverage on the AI, right? So because thinker profile is probably like the first type that is going to be replaced by AI, right? We cannot be too dependent on AI, because if AI is doing reasoning better than you, then AI is going to replace your job, right? So that's the risk. AI can replace the thinker profile. But if you can elevate yourself, don't just look at like reading text. AI can do better in reading now, but look at something further. Do more research, go in depth, right? When you code, you need to understand what is the code, right? Simulate different scenario. Don't just take one answer as the answer, right? Look at different options. And as a teacher, I think this is also something that if you see your student is a thinker profile, try to challenge them with more like research, more analysis kind of activity. Ask them to challenge the assumption, right? Is this, don't just take the, let's say, the AI data as factual. Do more analysis. I think if we can elevate ourselves, the thinker profile, we can elevate ourselves to look at all this more value than what AI can give. We will retain our value as human, right? The second type, the creator profile, they are the people who are more hands-on. They like to create things. They like to write books, write songs, maybe do some performance, show something, basically expressing their idea. So just how the thinker is like all the activities in the brain, right? That's the thinker profile. The creator is the hands-on profile. What is in their mind, they are able to express out in a certain form. Okay. So if you look at the crew over here, the creator profile, they are more tidy, or they like things in a certain way. So they like to organize things. When they see something boring, they will try to make it very interesting. They will try to provide alternative. In fact, they don't like repetitive, boring design. They like to always have a different thing. And usually this is like the innovator profile as well. Right. So if you are like this, if you are the type of person that you can like look at the people's slide and say that something is wrong with the font, not aligned, right? Or something is wrong with the color scheme, and something is wrong with the layout, you are probably the creator profile. Okay. When you are using AI, creator profile, the risk is that don't let the AI replace your ability to create. Because now with the image generation, video generation, song generation, AI can help us generate that content. But don't let AI do this. You should be able to define your own style. Like, you need to be recognized as the master of a certain style. Like whether you do photography, you write book, you paint, right? There is a certain style that you can create. Like for example, I believe everyone know about the Studio Ghibli. So they have a very distinct style of drawing cartoon. And in fact, now these all the Gen AI started to copy Studio Ghibli style as well. Right? So you need to be the one who define the style. Then people can one day, when they create image through the AI, they can say that, produce this image using your style, something like that. Okay, so that is your advantage. You need to develop that style, right? Your value, what's the story behind your arts, your expression, okay? The emotional behind it, right? And AI cannot do emotion today. Okay, so this is the part where creator can focus more. The third one, manager profile. If you look at the clue over here, can you think of anyone that, let's say, you are going for travel or you have a plan for, let's say, lunch or dinner? This is the person that will volunteer to help you arrange everything, like book the restaurant, book the ticket. Have you planned like when to do what? So they are the planner, right? So these are the manager profile, and they are very, very outcome basis. Right? They need to make sure that things are done. Okay, if things are not done or not following the plan, they may become a bit more uncomfortable. Right? So this is the manager profile. The risk now, as a manager, I think a lot of time AI still cannot replace the way we manage people, because I would say managing people or things, business, money and everything are still very arts than science, right? Because you need to take into consideration a lot of things. What is the data that you have? What is the condition? What is the environment? Based on all this, what are the options you have? You let's say you look at pro and cons, then you navigate the plan, right? And to see the outcome, something is wrong, you need to adjust along the way. That is manager profile, right? So I think from all the AI that I've seen, I don't think there is a AI to be a manager yet. A lot of time the AI in fact just taking instruction from us, right? So I think if the person is good as a manager, probably the job will be safe, but the person need to be aware of their strength and really build this capability as a manager. Okay. And then the fourth type, the guardian. There are a few names that we are using also. So the guardian are like the support role. They make sure that the system is working fine, right? Meaning that, for example, like the country. So the guardians are like the government. They make sure that the society or there is a rule that everyone follow, so that everyone lives in harmony. So the guardian makes sure that everything is in order. Right? So think of it that they are like the police. So if you can think of like someone in your group or even at home, like when you do something, may not even the wrong thing, but something that is just like not following the rule. Let's say at home you put your snack or your food not on the table, you put somewhere. If someone come and remind you, hey, you need to put this food on the drawer, or you need to put this food on the table, that person is mostly the police profile or the guardian profile, right? They want everything to be in order. Okay, they are the one who usually can spot unfairness when something unfair happening, and they are usually the one that are willing to step up and challenge people if something is not correct. Now, and I don't think AI can do this yet today. AI is not able to measure like ethic. They can do like compliance factually. Just look at, let's say, if you have A, is it really A? Factually, yes. But if we look at company, for example, when let's say you are doing something, you are doing a project, and you are at the borderline, you are doing something that is borderline, not right or not wrong, but it's just that there's no rules against it, right? So I don't think AI can handle that part yet. It still need human to really navigate through the gray area today. So usually the compliance matter, basically, right? So if person is good as a guardian, then we should teach them about like designing policy. Understand what kind of policy, what kind of rule that will actually help people. Okay, or even like they can look at the designing the whole AI safety, for example. Right? When people develop AI, like for us, for example, when we develop AI, how do we make sure, let's say, our recommendation is proper? Like we don't recommend people to open casino, for example. Right? So how do we put the guardrail? Right? So we need that compliance. Right? So that's the guardian. The fifth type, last but not least, connector. So if you look at the clue, if you know someone in your network that always remember people's birthday, always remember people's name or special events, like they can say that, oh, 5 years ago you are doing this, right? These are the typically connector because they really value social connection, right? They remember something about you, right? So these are the people that are usually thrive really well in building social connection. And I really know a lot of people because I'm a connector myself. So in my network, I also know a lot of people who know a lot of other people. Right? So we are kind of like in the clique. We may not have the answer, but we can just like, hey, can you connect me to someone who knows this and know this? Right? Yeah, so that is the value of the connection. And even in business or whatever that we are doing, this is actually a very, very important role because, for example, when I do business, I need to, like, let's say, reach out to the school. I cannot be school and knock on the door. I will probably find a partner, and the partner will help to connect me with the school, for example, right? So, connector role is very, very important. Okay, and usually they are also the one who are more in harmony. They'll make sure that because they have connected everyone, they make sure that everyone are taken care of. Right? They'll try not to create like dispute or people are unhappy. So they are trying to make the whole community together or in harmony. That is typically the connector profile. And this one definitely AI cannot replace. AI cannot connect with people, but AI can connect with other AI lah. It can create a network of AI intelligence and all that, but that is still on the replacing the human task, right? But to build the value, social value, AI cannot do that. Okay, and this is the part where probably for people or students, if you see students who like to talk a lot, maybe try to guide them. Okay, try to learn, let's say, public speaking, or try to learn communication skill. Try to learn how to build connection with people and so on. Right. So in summary, these are all the 5 different types. And I think using all these keywords, once you get familiar with the keywords, you can try to look at your students and try to spot like who they are. Right. So if I show this screen, for example, just click on top of your head. Are you able to kind of like name one person that is in each of the category? May or may not be your student. It can be your friend or people in your network, your colleague, and so on. This is just like a practice, right? For you to be able to see that, okay, anyone in your network who is good in Tinker, anyone in your network who just want things to look very nice, anyone in your network who will take charge of things or events, remind people about the rules and notice when someone is left out. So once we get used to this more often, I think after a while you'll be able to spot easily, like, hey, I think you are this profile, you're this profile, and then it is able for you to adjust your way of working to their way of working, so that there'll be less conflict. And just now, Bufia asked, can we be in the multiple houses? Yes. Like even for me, I'm in the 3 houses. But also, just now Eddie asking, the result doesn't match with, sorry, Eddie, him or her, sorry if I say wrongly. Okay, because what we believe, okay, when we look at the personality trait, we have a certain preference to do things. Like, for example, if I'm a manager profile, maybe I like to plan things, for example. But the keyword is preference. We can still adjust depending on the what the environment require or what the, let's say, people around you require, right? Because we are still human, we have this power of like adjusting things. And that is really what makes us different from the robot or the AI, basically. our flexibility. Okay, so even when we look at personality tests, a lot of time personality tests will say that your type will not change. When you're young until you're old, your type will probably not change. But actually, even like a MBTI, for example, when they measure people in their youth versus when they measure people in their older age, they see people may change even in your natural tendency. Okay. Although in theory they will say that your natural tendency, your primary tendency will not change. But along the time, because people get married, maybe have kids, change jobs, things will change. And probably in a way, we started to force ourselves to do something that is not natural to us. Can we do it? We can force ourselves, right? But it's just that it may not be the best thing that we like to do. Right. So, and when we look at all these profile of successful people, I think most of the profile we see that they are successful because they found their passion, something that they like. That's why we always see all this business material out there, or people management always encourage people. You need to find your passion. You need to find your ikigai, your purpose in life, right? Because that will bring you very, very long. But actually, there is also a small group of people who are able to really force themselves to do the things that they don't want, right? Just for example, rich family lah, very easy, right? The father has a business, passed down to the son or the daughter. They continue the business. They may hate the business, but they can force themselves to do it, right? Because of the condition, right? And actually, not everyone may be able to force themselves to do it, right? Because what we see also, out of the 5 profile, the one that can probably force themselves to do it is the guardian people, because they see this as I need to maintain the order. So my father wants to pass the business to me. I need to maintain the order. I have to force myself to do it, whether I like it or not. But this is the order. This is the stability. I need to maintain it. Usually the guardian people or the governance people are the one who can really take the hardship, usually. Okay. The next one is the manager profile. The manager profile basically will just like brainwash ourselves to say that, to condition ourselves that why we need to do it, rather than we force ourselves to do it. Like my father passed this business to me, I need to run it. So instead of forcing myself to do it, we'll condition ourselves. Okay, if I do this, it will be the best for everyone. Right? All the employees will get their job. The market need the product. We need to continue it. So they will do a lot of reasoning to continue it. That's the manager profile. Right? The thinker profile will probably think too much that, hey, I don't like it. Right? They will overthink. They will think, then they won't do. So different profile will react differently. Okay. And that's why also that I think when you go back to your school, for example, you can try this with your student in their project, for example, if they have team project. When you assign a team project, look at the composition of the team member. Who are these students in the team? What should be their role? Right? If let's say the project is, let's say, reducing plastic waste, sustainability, right? In the team, the thinker profile will start analyzing data. Probably they'll use AI already. Okay, let's look at the data, look at the statistic, what's the waste, what is the cost of it, and so on. The connector will say that let's go out and interview people. Let's talk to people first, understand about the problem. Okay. The creator people, let's create marketing campaign. Let's create social media. Let's create awareness. The manager people, they will create a plan. What do we do in the next 30 days, right? The guardian people, they will look at, okay, when you do this, make sure that we are following the law, make sure that everyone is safe, right? No one is harmed, right? So these are typically guardian people. Now, in the team, for example, and this is something also that I like to recommend for my fellow startup friends when they look for co-founder, for example, what do you need for your co-founder? If you need a technology person is usually a thinker profile. If you need a marketing person, it's usually creator profile. The CEO profile is usually the manager profile. I have one friend, or in one company, actually two friends in one company. One study IT in university, and one study business. But after they graduate, they realize that they don't like it, and they end up they switch role. IT person become the CEO, the business person become the CTO. And they found out what they like, but they eventually still become a good pair in the company, right? Because they complement each other. Right? Imagine if, let's say, you have a startup, you have a team where, let's say, everyone is a thinker. Then what will happen? Nobody will create a plan. Nobody will create the poster for awareness. Right? Nobody will nobody will want to interview people and so on. So you will have like gaps in doing things. Right? So that's why putting the right people in the team is also very important. If we understand their profile, then they will have a better composition in the team. Right? And then this was my end of the slides already. So in summary, I feel that, and just to recap that, I think as educator, when we help the students look at like the risk of AI, for example, and it'll be good if we can also help them understand their strength, know where they will thrive, so they know that they should focus in a certain area, right? Now, because of the AI, everyone start to think that, I just want to learn AI. I have a lot of friends who switch career to do software engineering or AI because AI is the hot thing today, right? So everybody want to learn AI, but then a lot of them also eventually found out that they don't like it. And it's a waste because you would spend like months learning, and then you try to change job, and then 1 year later you then tell yourself that, you don't like it, then you change again. Right? So rather than we let the students do a trial and error, right? Nowadays trial and error very expensive because for 1 year that we are delayed, our peers 1 year with AI can do a lot more things. Yeah, so that's why we want to encourage people to try our AI, try to understand your strength or what are the career that you can do, so that hopefully the student can find the inspiration. They learn the right thing as early as possible. Okay. Right, and also this is more like a challenge to the educators. Right, so can you also help them grow outside the academic role, outside the intelligence role, because that is going to be replaced by AI. What are the value that they can bring, right, to the community, to the world? What are the things, or maybe use AI to solve the problem in the world, for example? I think this is something that will be good if you can help to encourage your students, right, to look at this. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention, and happy to take any questions.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Yusuf, Pak Yusuf, thank you so much for the insightful presentation. Yeah, and Bapak and Ibu, right now we are moving to the Q&A and also discussion session. So if you have any questions, please drop your questions in the chat box, or maybe you want to ask it directly to Mr. Yusuf. So you will raise your hand and then ask it.
I'm just looking at the chat. Did I miss any question?
Okay, I'm checking it right now. Either. Anyway, I have a question specifically. Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, this platform for helping us knowing the potential that our students have, right? By the way, do you have any idea about how can teachers begin applying the five structures framework that you were explaining before in our everyday classroom?
Okay. I think ideally is the validation first for people to really understand where they like to behave, or which like house or structure that they are more resonate with. Are they the thinker? Are they the connector and so on? I have student who came to me initially. Actually, this student is like all rounder. She can do a lot of things. She has done a lot of leadership role at school and all that. And then she came to me to ask advice for uni, what kind of program that she should study. So we go through the framework. In fact, I have a lot more than this. We went through. I actually have like a 10 weeks program with them, and we slowly help them to uncover themselves. And then eventually, she realized that she really liked to talk to people. That's why she took up the leadership profile as a chance for her to get to know a lot of people. And that's where she had awareness. And once she has awareness, she become very passionate and very targeted in her decision, like the courses that she selected. And she mentioned that she want to learn a lot more on the marketing and sales as well. Basically learn how to influence people. So her learning become very targeted. But I think the very first thing is really awareness about themselves first. They need to know who they are, what they can do. And there are a lot of personality tools out there. I'm not promoting ours because we are not personality assessment company. We look at your data, we look at your report, and we use AI to analyze the report. Right? So I feel a lot of personality assessment tools out there are useful, like MBTI, DISC, like I said, all these are very useful. A lot of time people don't take that because they need someone to explain that to them. Like MBTI, you can do a lot of free MBTI tests out there, but then a lot of people misinterpret the MBTI result, and that can become quite dangerous because I experienced that myself. So about like 10 years ago, I did my MBTI, and I'm the thinker profile in MBTI also. So MBTI showed that I'm thinker profile. And because of that, I conditioned myself that I can only do thinker profile. I never realized that I can do other things. That because MBTI will only show what is my highest. My highest is thinker profile. But actually I can do the second highest also, the third highest also. Right? The question is, do we know what's the second highest, the third highest? A lot of time personality assessment don't share the second highest or the third highest. They'll just say that you're one type. That's it. So that's why I want people to have more awareness. And really, I think as a human, is our ability to be more flexible. Like just now, Pa Anton, you can do all five. Then the question is that in which situation you want to activate which personality, right? Do you want to be manager all the while? Maybe no. Maybe when you need to do planning, then you bring out your manager profile. But if you need to, let's say, do audit, maybe you need to bring out your governance or guardians profile. It's just awareness of when to bring out that profile. And yeah, I think this is something that unfortunately the school also don't teach to the students. Even for me, I have to learn outside. I have to try out different tools and eventually get the hang or used to a few all these tools. I think that will definitely take time. I don't think there's a shortcut to it. Just get used to it. And I'll say that as educator, you meet a lot of students, just try to understand them and maybe just do a quick validation. Hey, seems like you like to talk to people, right? Is it something like that? or seems like, hey, you're the police in the class, right? Have you tried like a certain job role or certain activity that are more relevant to this discipline related, for example? Like governance people are usually like sports people or the government people, right? Because they are very, very disciplined. Yeah, so I think it takes time. There's no shortcut to it. And even for me, it takes me like the 10 years experience, at least 5 years to really understand a tool properly and that we can apply it. And that's why we want to make it as AI. So it'll be easier. So you don't have to learn all the tool. Just upload your data, then let our AI interpret this for you.
Yeah, you're right. This platform really helps us then, right?
And that's why I offer it free for you, for everyone. So at least the student can also understand themselves.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, because I think it's a little bit challenging for teachers either, especially in Indonesia, because in one class we have a lot of students with different characteristic, right? And
Yep.
of course, like what you say, that we need time for understanding who they are and what their characteristic are, right? Okay. There is one participant raising their hand, Pak Alam Syah, Mr. Nature. Yes, Pak Alam. Hello, Pak Alam.
I need to unmute first.
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hi, Pak Alam.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Mr. Yusuf.
Hi, Pak Alam.
Yeah, do you have okay, Mr. Yusuf, just now your presentation is very good and very interesting. So I take note in the slide number 2 or number 1, I forget to. You say that the AI can be replace me.
Yeah. Yes, in a certain extent, not replace totally.
So we just discuss small discuss maybe. I think for me is my idea. AI cannot replace me, especially for the teacher, because AI just only give us about knowledge and skill, but not for attitude or character. How do you think, Mr. Yusuf, about AI? Because the only teacher to give student or everyone for the attitude, skill and knowledge, okay, AI, but for attitude is not for the AI. How do you think, Mr. Yusuf? Thank you very much.
Yes, agree. Totally agree. Yes. In fact, my personal experience, I have very good memory about my school time. Great teacher, great friends, great environment. So that experience is what the teacher like you guys are bringing to the school. That is the interaction with the student that AI cannot replace. I think the way of teaching, where you can create this memory, create this experience, is very, very valuable. And that's, I agree with you, AI cannot replace. But yes, you also rightfully mentioned that if it is just content, if it is just the curriculum, let's say you want to teach maths, right? Can students learn maths from AI? Maybe yes. But do they get the school experience? They don't. Right. So I feel that's why when we need to elevate the whole thing to look at the social or the human impact. So now at the school environment means that the school experience for the student, how do they feel being at school? Do they like to come to school? Because this become like a place, for example, where they can really thrive. They can do their best, right? They can have good connection. If they are connected people, they find all their friends over here. If they are the manager people, they have all the projects that they can do, for example, right? I think as a teacher, if you can give this experience for them, right, definitely AI cannot replace that. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay, Pak Alam, what do you think? Is it answering your question? Pak Alam, are you there?
It's still on mute.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, I think your explanation just now is okay, and I think for me is I'm agree about that. But anyway, in this generation, I mean, like strawberry generation and Gen Z generation, how do you think about what we call about just now you say five horses, five horses, the creator, thinker, what else?
Yep, the 5 houses.
So
Yes.
about the 5 character or 5 horses that you have that we have. So which one the students mostly they have in the 5 horses, Mr. Yusuf?
There is no like right or wrong type. It is about how we use it, more important. Right. So that's why even at school, for example, let's say we take maybe learn about marketing, for example. All these 5 types can do marketing, but it's just a different way of marketing. So like thinker, then maybe they start to look at more data analysis. They look at, okay, where are the customer? How do I reach out to the customer? I run the statistic, I run the report, right? So look at the data. So that's the thinker profile in marketing. Creator profile is the one who create all the advertisement, the banner, the TV ads, right? So they are the creator profile. The manager, when we run a marketing campaign, usually we need someone to manage the activity. And managing activity is not just about like telling people to do things. The person also need to understand the domain. When I run a campaign, for example, what is the messaging that we need to tell people? When do we tell, let's say, the journalist, the media? When we tell the customer, for example? So all this planning need to be done. And then the guardian make sure that, let's say, when we do marketing, maybe we don't misrepresent something. If our product can do A, don't say we can do B. Right? So all this control need to be there. And then the connector people is about, let's say, we want to do marketing. Then how do we, let's say, easily connect with partner who can also have advertise our marketing, for example. So I feel that for students, there's no right or wrong profile. It is all about how they use it. And I believe that all this can be used in a lot of different job roles.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with you, Pak Yusuf. Yeah. Pak Alam, is it enough?
Yes, enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf.
Thank you.
Yeah, Pak Alam is giving his thumb. Okay, let's move on. Okay, before I saw Pak Edi raise his
Yeah.
hand. Pak Edi, are you there?
Halo.
Yeah, hello.
Assalamualaikum
Yeah,
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay,
Hi,
Pak
Pak
Edi,
Edi.
please.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mr. Yusuf.
Thank you,
May I
Pak.
ask you something?
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, how can artificial intelligence reshape the educational practices to create learning experiences that are more effective, engaging, and joyful for the students? You know that currently I am now as a teacher in elementary school, where the students still in the operational concrete tasks, which mean that they don't know about the AI. So that the question is, how can AI reshape educational practice for the student in the elementary school in order they can running the learning process more effective, engaging, joyful, and so on.
Mm. All right. Thanks, Paidi. By the way, Paidi, can I understand again? Just now, what is your type again? Are you the thinker or the? I just want to tailor my answer based on your type to see if it makes sense for
Okay.
you.
Currently, sometimes I can become a thinker. Sometimes, yeah, from 5 houses, I can use all to help me to solve problem in daily activity.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, so if you can do all, that means you have a lot of options that you can use. Now, when you create this, let's say, classes, right? I think for elementary students, okay, statistics shows that their brain development is not matured yet, and they still
Yes.
like to learn via playing. So if we can somehow incorporate play into the learning, and make it more fun for them, and also tailor to a different type. So for example, let's say, sorry, what subject do you teach again, Pak ID?
Currently now I teach information.
Okay. So, and does the school allow to use AI already at school?
Yes.
Okay. So I think, for example, maybe for the thinker profile, let's say the students, or you can also ask all the students to try, right? Thinker profile, let them experiment with, let's say, research. Give them some case study, like just now I show over here. Let's say give them a case study, okay? Maybe something to do with AI. So research something about the maybe ChatGPT or Gemini, or give them a topic about, let's say, plastic reduction. Use AI to come up with 5 solutions for plastic reduction. I think the thinker profile, the students will be able to try, like ask them to maybe use, let's say, ChatGPT, for example, to come up with some options.
Yes.
Let them try with the prompting ability, basically, right? For creator profile, ask them to, let's say, create a poster. Make a poster, talk about this project, for example. Use AI. They need to use AI to create, for example, right? And then manager profile. Okay, so fun fact, my elder daughter, so I have 2 daughters. My elder daughter is also manager profile. She's good in managing the team. So in the team project, she's usually the one that will assign tasks to people. Right. So if you identify this student is manager profile in the team, then you just ask them, hey, ask the student to manage the friend. So you don't manage the friend. Let the student learn how to manage their friend, right? The guardian, usually this one is like the police. They are the one who will they like give idea, but the idea is usually a very controlling idea. Like you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So then they can also use ChatGPT to try come up with all these processes or the control, for example. Let them try out, let them explore what is like the policy to enforce the reducing plastic, for example. Just let them try, right? And then the connector is for them then when they do this project, let them to be the one like do interview, like try to talk to people, collect more data, and maybe do validation. Let's say the thinker already come up with 3 options. Let the connector to go out and validate with people, talk to the expert, interview the expert, right? is this three solution, are these three solution make sense? For example, if they want to do it, ask the expert advice, for example. So give this environment for them to hands-on, I feel. And this really very Western education style. So a lot of project, a lot of hands-on where the students can really try using the AI in their day-to-day. Then they'll get used to it. In fact, even for me, I've been asking my two daughters, a few years, 2 or 3 years ago, when the whole thing the AI just started to get popular, the school says that, oh, you cannot use AI. But I told my kids that, okay, don't worry, at home you can use AI, but don't copy what AI say, right? If your homework, you shouldn't copy and paste. You can use AI to like brainstorm. Try to understand, like, okay, if this is the maths question, what is the different way of answering? But of course, I will test my daughter to ensure that they understand the answer. Then they become, actually, they become very good in using ChatGPT. Nowadays, when there's a lot of like project or anything that they need to do, they'll just consult ChatGPT already. And that is the future, right? I mean, we shouldn't stop them from using AI, because when they go out, all this young generation, when they go out to work, their peers will be all using AI already. Even for us, right, we would start learning AI already. Right? So if the senior generations like us are using AI, if they just graduate and enter the workforce without the AI knowledge, they'll be behind. They'll lose from the competition. Yeah. So I think it's really about creating that environment. How do we allow these people, the students, to try out? Let them try out and see whether it's something that they like. Does it make sense?
Okay. I agree. Thank you, Ms. Yusuf, for your
All right,
explanation.
thank you, Pak Edi. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Pak Edi. Yeah, Pak Yusuf, I think because of the time, Pak Edi's questions is the last questions that we are having today.
All right.
Yeah, because it's 9:26 right now, right? I think it's
Yeah,
time
yeah.
for finishing our discussions. Although maybe some participants are still having some questions to be answered by you, and maybe some participants are still having something to share with us. So hopefully we still have other chance for having discussions. Pak Yusuf. Yeah, maybe the last, could you please give like a short closing statement or something like that? Okay, for closing your presentation.
All right. Yeah, I think I just want to all right, let me just close the screen a little bit first. Okay, I just want to say just now who mentioned already, Pak Alam, is it, or Pak Edi? I forgot. Sorry. That being a teacher is not easy. I do agree, and especially like the world is changing very, very fast. AI is changing very, very fast. The students want to learn AI. Naturally, they will look for a teacher, and a teacher, can you teach me this new technology? And I think your responsibility as a teacher is getting a lot more. While you need to teach education, you need to create a good environment for them. You also need to catch up with what's going on out there. I think it's really a lot in your plate, right? And to be honest, I really salute you all. I don't know how you all manage your time, but really salute you all. There's a lot of things to do. And I think one thing that I would really encourage is for teachers yourself to actually use AI also to make your life easier, right? Then you can focus on creating this experience for the students. Because if you don't have time, if you are still like, I think you have a lot of like paperwork, right? Creating questions. Now a lot of AI can help you create questions. Marking paper, a lot of AI can help you mark paper, right? A lot of these like small little tasks, I would recommend, I would say my personal opinion, I would recommend outsource to AI. AI can do all this, right? Then as a teacher, you should leverage to look at the higher value, the whole learning experience. I think that will give a lot more value to the students. That's my feel. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf, for the what message? Yeah, right. Technology is developing, so teachers should be more developing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Also,
Yeah.
teacher also like you need to understand your type, then you learn the right way of learning. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, everyone
right.
also learn.
Yeah, before we understand our students, we have to understand who we are, right?
Correct, correct.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. And there is one message from Mr. Alamsyah. Ikan hiu muter-muter, see you later. Okay, Bapak and Ibu, as we come to the end of today's webinar, let's take a moment to reflect on one important message that today's learners are not necessarily more difficult, but they may simply be different. So as educators, our role is not only to teach content, I think, but also like Mr. Yusuf explaining that we need to understand how our students think, learn, adapt, and discover their potential, for their future. Okay, so on behalf of Trainova Global and also the International Affairs Division of IKI Kota Bogor, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to Mr. Yusuf for sharing his valuable knowledge and also insight with us in this webinar. And I would like to thank to all participants for your active participations and also enthusiasm throughout these sessions. And may today's discussions inspire us to create more adaptive, empathetic, and also future-oriented learning environment for our students. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining us today. Good evening, goodbye, and have a nice day everyone, and see you at our next event. So I will give the room back to Miss Amel. Miss Amel.
Thank you, Miss Via and Mr. Yusuf. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for your inspiring and insightful presentation. We hope today's session has given us fresh perspective on how AI can empower learners, support educators, and help prepare students for the future. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to all participants for your enthusiasm, active participation, and thoughtful question. Your engagement has made this webinar truly meaningful. Before we conclude, we would like to remind all participants to complete the attendance form in the chat box in YouTube and Zoom, which has been shared in chat room. Please make sure you submit the form before leaving the meeting. We hope to see you again at the next Trainova Global webinar series, held every Wednesday from 7:30 until 9:30 p.m. Don't forget that once every month, our webinar will conduct entirely in English, giving everyone an opportunity to learn from international speakers while improving English and communication skill. Thank you once again for joining us today. Stay healthy, keep learning, and continue inspiring others. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good night, everyone, and see you at our next webinar. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See you, everyone. Bye. All the best.